earned him the wolf spirit's recognition. When the old aristocracy tried to regain power, Ravenwood came once more to Mondstadt's defense. From then on, the title of Knight of Boreas was passed down from generation to generation within the Knights of Favonius.
Wolf spirit? You mean that big blue wolf in Wolfenden?
Correct. As you may already know, the Wolf of the North is the surviving spirit of an ancient god, and the Knight of Boreas serves as an intermediary between him and humanity. Lupus Boreas, who had never known what it meant to love, came to understand it through the journey with his human companion. In the end, he chose to allow his power to become one with the land. This was once a well-known tale in Mondstadt, but these days, few people are aware that the starting point of the Wolf King's journey was not Mondstadt, but Nodcry.
Huh?
The great Wolf King of the North came here from Nodcry. Although he doesn't like to speak of his past. In fact, he rarely shows himself to people at all nowadays. As such, this tale can only be found deep within the Knights of Favonius library. Even among the Knights of Favonius, few are aware of it. The Grand Master didn't disclose any concrete objectives before departing on his expedition. I couldn't help but wonder whether it might somehow be related to Nodcry's Wolf of the North. I kept my speculations to myself, however. Sharing them would only spread unwarranted suspicion toward the Four Winds among the people of Mondstadt. You experienced the turmoil caused by Duval and the East Wind's actions for yourself. Surely you can understand my concern?
No wonder Varga wasn't clear about his motives. Is that what he was worried about?
Very possibly. He was probably also reserving judgment. Having heard about your experiences in Nodcry, I now suspect that the Grand Master hadn't yet ascertained the true identity of our enemy at that time. And as it turns out, the calamity born in the north wasn't an... Yes, I completely agree. Even if his contingency plan never needs to be put into action, I'm sure the Grand Master is relieved to know that it's in place.
It's Cookie Contest Day! To the Hotel de Bourg! Toot sweet! That turned into a pretty long conversation, huh? We should probably go deliver those letters to the Angel Share now.
When you're mixing drinks in hot weather, start by pouring in cold water and add ice cubes. Then
Please. I've known that little trick for a good 10 years at least. You'll have to offer something a little more substantial if you're serious about trading.
I know there's no one else in the tavern right now, but do you two really need to talk so loudly? Especially if you're supposed to be exchanging confidential information.
Kaya! Rosaria! D-Luke! Paimon knew we'd find you here!
Looks like it's about to get even noisier.
a little liveliness never killed.
Please allow me to once again. I hope you will give some serious consideration.
From the look on your face...
He nags like an old man.
Huh? Drop what?
Nothing, really. He, asked me if I'd consider rejoining the Knights of Favonius. And I declined.
Yeah, right. Sounds like you skipped a lot.
Whatever details I chose to
You say that now, but...
I wasn't seeing the full picture. I've had a lot of time to reflect since then. But my answer remains unchanged. Both the Grandmaster and the acting Grandmaster, I can't see the shadow.
If I had a Mora for every time I've heard you repeat that argument. I just really don't disagree with the first...
When you join an organization...
You think so? Never...
Good question. Have you
Are they arguing or... Oh!
What should I report? Public order inside the city? Monster activity in the wild? Oh.
My reply won't be a...
If you hadn't had to deliver that guy's mail, you wouldn't have been
It's no trouble. Lowen did most... Huh?
No. Well, there are people like Kaya and I. And then there are those who are true champions. Not only that, but yeah. So no one's told you this before? The lineage of the Knights of Boreas had nearly...
Oh! Wasn't Jean telling us about this?
I happened to hear about it. Although the Knights of Boreas, of those who have, the best... But 500 years ago, there was one who earned the respect of Boreas even before gaining the title. He was a disciple of Rostam. They thought he would become the mighty... He was the perfect knight. Righteous, principled...
Yikes! Bloodstained...
Well, apparently his original title, but he lost the endless bloodshed. After that, he threw himself... It's hard to say whether... But had he known that the knight... So if you want my opinion, the reason why Varka keeps asking Diluc to rejoin, despite knowing that he'll never...
Huh. Turns out Varka's a lot more thoughtful than he lets on. Paimon had the wrong idea about him. Anyway, there's still something about this whole Boreas business that Paimon isn't really getting. Wasn't Andreas a god in Mondstadt thousands of years in the past? If so, why did Jean say that Boreas and the Wandering Knight only arrived here just 1,000 years ago? That's a great idea! What's going on here? Was Wolvendom always like this? The Wild Hunt? What are they doing here? Watch out!
Be silent. Observe.
Look, the rainbow!
Ultimatum protocol.
Close your eyes. Be silent. Dust.
Wing done, protocol! Oh, are you alright? Oh no, what now? There better not be more Wild Hunt monsters!
Stop right there! Answer me this. The 2 letters I gave you, who are they for?
2 letters? Wasn't it 3?
Okay. Well, Paimon's coolest naive expression doesn't appear to be an act.
Hey! What are you trying to say? Paimon passed a test?
Well, if the boss of Wolvendom has vouched for you, sure was. Fortunately, my experience in Nodcry didn't go to waste. Something seems wrong with that old wolf, though. Go
Lupus Boreas.
They followed my trail. We meet again, human Lupica.
So, are you...
As you know, I stand by the source of this turmoil.
Huh?
For many gods, housing a part of their soul within an object is no difficult feat. But those who can perform such delicate partitions as this are rare, even among the gods. The Wolf King, Andrius, was particularly adept in this art. Otherwise, no remnants of his soul would have survived till the present day.
Huh? The bard's back?
Toadif Bard? What are you doing here?
Maybe the god of Animo guided me here. For it appears that someone is in need of a tale. Who better than a bard to do the honors? Lupus Boreas wandered the frozen tundra and stumbled into the Sealy Hall. As the high tower crumbled and the fierce winds fell silent, the wolf entrusted those under his protection to a new god and quietly returned to the 500 bitter winters past, then 500 equally frigid springs. He slumbered undisturbed until a knight stumbled in from the cold, just as Lupus Boreas had once done at the Sealy Hall, and awoke him at long last. The knight asked the wolf to join him on a journey south, just seeing how the ice and... So, this is the world the humans dreamed of. Though the knight's journey was not yet over, he had written the end to his story. Well, that's how a bard would tell the tale.
There is no need for you to ask that question.
So that's what happened. You were...
You need not feel remorse on my... If anyone, that is surely why...
But we followed Boreas' trail in Nodcry.
Andrea should still be slumbering by the... And there's more.
Oh, the white...
I remember him as just a man. It was the ancient kingdom of...
If you want to get to the bottom of this, I'm afraid you'll have to make another trip to Nodcry yourselves. As luck would have.
No one...
If even Mondstadt has been affected by the
Varka, is he in danger?
I believe too many passengers would slow our dear friend down.
Alright, wish it could be me, but I accept that we should send our strongest warrior to fight Nodcry's battles. I'll stay here and deal with any wild hunt that try harassing Mondstadt. It'll be a good chance to try it.
I stay in Mondstadt too.
Razor, give me your iron claw. Golden-haired traveler, give this token to the current knight of Boreas. It is a wolf.
The dominator of wolves.
But human hearts and flesh cannot bear the soul of a wolf directly to prevent the entanglement of souls. Although, truth be told, the great wolf king of the north remains strong for...
I will protect Lupical.
Just give me the word whenever you're ready. Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. You'll probably have to hit the ground running when you get to Nodcry. The root of this turmoil lies with the remnant soul that Andrea. He once left Nod. Instead, he returned to the north, and when the wolf spirit could no longer make. Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. All right, over to you, Dvalin.
The Knight of Boreas awaits below. We must part ways here. Barbatos and I have other plans. We will meet you again later.
Alright! Hey, wait! How are we getting down?
Hold the line! The enemy's on the brink of collapse!
Grandmaster! It's...
Ha! Reinforcements! It's about time!
And Paimon too!
We're just about hanging in there. Most of their grunts are taken care. Fight or flight? What will it...
As expected, this but they have served their purpose. I now understand. Farewell, heir to the knighthood of Boreas. Whether you choose to
Guess they're retreating for now.
So that Wolf of the North look-alike... forget...
There's no point chasing after him. True. We're still not certain of his true identity, but whether he's a god corrupted by the Abyss or a legendary knight, killing him might be... The difficult part is, we can't kill him right now.
Huh? What do you mean?
No. Judging from our skirmishes so far, I don't think he's got any special... But, compared to Rare... Exactly. Sounds like you realize what the crux of the issue is. I managed to cut off a sample from our foe, which Albedo and Durin are analyzing as we speak. Meanwhile, our other allies should be making their way home from their own battles by now. Let's discuss this further when they're back. We still have some big challenges.
The meeting's probably gonna be in the biggest tent, right? Looks like a bunch of people are there already. Why don't we go chat with them?
Hey, Honorary Knight. Looks like pretty much everyone's here. Albedo and Durin are just wrapping up their analysis. You want to wait for them here? Great. While we're waiting, could you update me on the situation in Mondstadt? And that's where things stand. The Wild Hunt is no longer under the Reikir of Solnari's control, but it has been reborn from the ashes and is now launching widespread attacks. Intel from the Frost Moon Scions and the Curatorium of Secrets corroborates this. No disturbances have been detected in the space where Rere resides.
Summarizing current situation. To confirm, the present leader of the Wild Hunt is the creature resembling a wolf. Andreas, god of the North.
More precisely, it's the external will that has seized control of Andrias' spirit, namely Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Whoa. Hold on. I'm completely lost. Isn't Roland some Mondstadter from like 500 years ago? How'd he suddenly get wrapped up with a god from 1,000 years in the past and the present-day Wild Hunt?
Allow us to explain that part. Are you familiar with compensation mechanisms? When an organism sustains damage, relevant tissues will undergo changes to offset the loss of function. For example, when one kidney is damaged, the other will be strengthened to compensate. Or, when a main artery is blocked, the collateral vessels become more active. Similarly, When the Wild Hunt lost their leader, the Abyss harnessed the memories that flow throughout the ley lines to fashion a new one, fit for the present circumstances. That new leader is a mirror image of Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Right. No matter how strong the compensation is, it will never quite match the functionality of the original. The Roland replica can't possibly imitate Rerear's overwhelming power, nor his ability to disguise himself as others. So, the Abyss made use of the connection between Roland and Boreas to compensate for this lack of power.
The replica corrupted and took control of Andreas as he slumbered by the bank of Eimsvartnir, ultimately manifesting as the giant beast that you all witnessed. However, exactly why the Abyss chose Roland to mimic, and indeed how it was able to do so, remains unclear.
I guess he must have gotten caught up with the Abyss or Nodcry somehow during his wanderings through Teyvat. But we can keep those questions on the back burner.
Okay, Paimon gets all that, but what did you mean when you said we can't kill him right now?
We can't kill him right now because a dead god may prove more dangerous than a living one. From intelligence gathered during the expedition, we have reason to believe that the power released when a god is felled can have catastrophic consequences. Worse still, the wrath that remains after a god's passing becomes a source of endless turmoil. Once god remains contaminate the land, they will persist for thousands of years. This land has already been ravaged by the Wild Hunt. If we add god remains to the mix, it'd be like adding salt to an open wound, placing everyone who lives here in perilous danger.
Query. While I can indeed find records of disasters caused by god remains in my database, there also appear to be cases of gods dying naturally with no ill effects. In that land, the passing of the Pyro Archon's flame is a common occurrence throughout history, and even the part of Andreas who remains in Mondstadt has experienced death once before, has he not?
Great question. Glad you asked. Honorary Knight, you said Lupus Boreas gave you a token to pass on to me? Please, present it now. It should help explain things. Come forth, Boreas!
This form has come to the end of its time. My soul will fall into silence. And do not grieve for me. For this is the end I have chosen. Instead, remember that one day, your wandering too must come to an end. Where and when shall that be? A final wish before I slumber. Sing me a song. That melody you so often hummed in the...
You saw it too. You must have keen powers of perception. Not that it surprises me. That was Boreas' final thoughts before merging with the ley lines. It's the reason Mondstadt remains unharmed by his god remains. In his final moments, he made a choice to give everything he was to the ley lines. All to protect Mondstadt from harm.
Sounds like Andreas spent thousands of years searching for his place in the world, too.
Yes. And now our task is to return the answer he found, the decision he made, to Andreas' heart. Only then can he break free from the corruption and control of the Abyss, and make that decision once more.
I see. I would say that planting thoughts inside the mind of a god sounds a little far-fetched, but since it was his own wish to begin with, it sounds feasible to me.
Wait, we already have a perfect solution? Then why are we even having this meeting? Let's go do this thing!
Ha ha ha. If only it were that simple. Unfortunately, this one thought alone is unlikely to be powerful enough to break through the Abyss's control and reach Andreas' heart. We need to find a way to make the thought within this sword stronger and more resilient.
For now, Boreas needs all his remaining strength to fight against the abyssal corruption to Mondstadt's lake. However, since his form was unstable during his journey with the first night of Boreas, many wolf spirit fragments were left. If we can collect those fragments, we can use them to strengthen the decision to merge with the...
So we need to retrace his steps and look for random fragments? But they could be anywhere between Notcry and Mondstadt. It'll be like looking for...
You don't need to worry about that. There's a few fragments left to gather in Notcry, but apart from that, most of them are already inside this sword. I've been collecting them during the whole expedition.
Huh? Wait, really?
I mean, it's an expedition, not a stroll in the park. Each step of the way, we've been hard at work planning for every possible contingency. Not just the Wild Hunt and the Abyss, but ancient gods remaining in Nod.
Sounds like this plan was a long time in the making.
As a matter of fact, I did. I caught a glimpse of fate's reflection, but I can't take credit for it. Still, all I foresaw was that an abyssal calamity was brewing in the north. Instead, we've had to make best guesses, prepare for every possible scenario. Sure is. Just one crucial step remains. We need to gather the last few wolf spirit fragments scattered around Nodcry, and use them to make the thought within this sword as strong as it can possibly be. According to what Boreas told me before we left Mondstadt, his form was at its most unstable at the beginning of his journey. That means the fragments here should be the most powerful ones. But of course, we've been tied up fighting battles since the day we set foot in Nodcry. First with the Wild Hunt, then with the Doctor. So, it wasn't until recently that we were finally able to confirm the status of the wolf spirit fragments. We now know there are 3 left to find.
Okay, so 3 more mini-expeditions to go.
I managed to gather 1 fragment before Roland reappeared. I also have a confirmed location for the second. As for the 3rd fragment, we've identified a general search area to focus on. But the final snag is that since our foe is a replica of...
With our foe being...
And since the Wild...
The Clink Clink Krumkake craft shop will also help in it.
So what do they need me here for? Wait, I think maybe I signed a contract at some point. Didn't exactly scrutinize it, though. I mean, who actually reads those things anyway?
Ah, great. Knew I could count on you all. Lastly, our friend from the Curatorium of Secrets will provide intel and relay battlefield communications. Looking at you, Yehoda.
So, you'll be darting back and forth across the battlefield, dodging the Wild Hunt and the shadow of an ancient god. I'm impressed by your courage, Miss...
Rating for Yehoda updated. Higher quality ingredients will be used to prepare your future meals.
Darn it! I should have known this pain.
I'll deal with the second wolf spirit fragment, which we already know the location of. The Traveler? Could you join me in retrieving fragment 2? I have a feel... All right, time is of the essence. Let's move out, people. Dismissed!
Accelerating. Accelerating.
Didn't you say fragment 2 was supposed to be right here? Where the heck is it?
Seems like we've run into a slight hindrance. Can I leave this to you, Honorary Knight? Traveler, Paimon, when this is all over, I'm gonna invite you around for a drink of...
Whoa, whoa! Stop thinking about Mondstadt's wine and keep your head in the game! You can't be daydreaming about alcohol before a battle!
Huh? Well, alright, just trying to lift our spirits a little. You want to see some photos I took of me and the knights before the expedition, maybe?
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Can't we please just focus on finding the wolf spirit fragment?
Bring it!
Observe. Close your eyes.
sequence initiated.
Go Claw! Don't worry. I put Anetha in charge of all my work for today, so we can go play with Knuckle Duckle. It's been way too long since I last had some candy. My brain's grinding to a halt, like a rusty machine. Oh, that's it! I'm having 5 whole crumb cupcakes for dinner tonight, and nothing's gonna stop me. Not even Anetha's super angry mode.
I just got a really bad toothache. Why? Enough! Help me! Don't worry. I put Anetha in charge of all my work for today, so we can go play with Knuckle Duckle. my plan for the day? Doing whatever I feel like, I suppose. Same with tomorrow, and the day after that. The best rattan furniture is made from strands that are smooth, thin, and strong like silk. Furniture like that can be just as precious as a silver family heirloom. That's no exaggeration. Swallows nest when skies are fair, but hide when storms are in the air. Oh, my plan for the day? Doing whatever I feel like, I suppose. Same with tomorrow, and the day after that. Let them fly.